If someone asks you 16% of 25, can you answer in 3 seconds? Most people panic a little and immediately open the calculator, type 16% and multiply it by 25. Or just like we used to do in high school, divide it by 100 and multiply by 25. But why do we do it using a calculator when you can do it using your brain in just 3 seconds? I say 3 seconds because numbers can be of any complexity. But numbers like this, 16% of 25, it's easier than we expect. The approach that we can use in this case is flipping numbers. Think of it as 25% of 16 because it is the same. Just by doing this, you might have guessed it even before me. Now, since 50% of 16 is 8, so 25% of 16 would be 4. Pretty simple, right? We'll try a couple more examples. 48% of 75. You flip numbers and it is pretty easy. Half of 48 is 24, and 25% is 12. 24 plus 12 is 36. So the answer is 36. Next one is 66% of 150. Rather, we calculate 150% of 66. In this case, we calculate 100% of 66, which of course is 66, plus 50% of 66, which is 33. So 66 plus 33 is 99, meaning we just proved that for any pair of numbers, x% of y is the same as y% of x. And it holds the commutative property. But this trick is not going to work for all numbers. Like, look at these numbers, 40% of 70. In this case, flipping will not make any difference. Calculating 40% of 70 or 70% of 40 would require the same amount of effort. So for this, I'd like you to pay attention here. The term percent is derived from the Latin phrase per centum, meaning 100 or by the 100. Or we can write it like divided by 10 times 10, meaning for 40% of 70, we can divide 40 by 10 and divide 70 by 10, zeros will cancel out. And we multiply the remaining 4 into 7 to get our answer, which is equals 28. I feel like this was easier than the first case. Let's use the same idea on other numbers, like for 30% of 60, dividing both numbers by 10 gives 3 and 6. 3 times 6 is 18, so 30% of 60 equals 18. Similarly, for 80% of 70, it would be 8 times 7, which is equals 56. Keep in mind that there might be a case where only one of the numbers ends with 0. Like 12% of 30, we can apply the same strategy here too. Divide both by 10, and it would be 1.2 times 3, which is equals 3.6. But this actually gets trickier when both of the numbers are neither in tens nor fives. Like 13% of 12. In such cases, you might need to break it to either 100%, 50%, 10%, or 1%, or sometimes 5%. For this case, break 13 into 10% plus 3 times 1%. 10% of 12 is 1.2. 1% of 12 is 0.12. So 1.2 plus 3 times 0.12 equals 1.2 plus 0.36. So the answer is 1.56. Next one is 27% of 52. First you can flip because it seems a bit easier to break. 52% of 27. And then you can calculate 50% plus 2 times 1%. 50% of 27 is 13.5. 1% of 27 is 0.27. So 13.5 plus 2 times 0.27 equals 13.5 plus 0.54. So the answer is 14.04. If the numbers are something like 98% of 68, in this case, you use 100% and 1% of 68. 100% of 68 is 68. 1% of 68 is 0.68. Then you can do something like 68 minus 2 times 0.68 equals 68 minus 1.36. So our answer is 66.64. Hope it helped. And trust me, if you keep practicing it, you will be able to calculate the percentage of any number within 3 seconds. Here are a few practice problems for you. Give me your answers in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.